Some worst habits that cause severe heart attack. 1. Watching TV. Sitting for hours on TV increases your risk of heart attack and stroke, even if you exercise regularly. Intermittent exercise doesn't compensate for the time you sit. Why? The lack of movement may affect blood levels of fats and sugars. 2. Leaving hostility and depression unchecked. Are you feeling stressed, hostile, or depressed? It can take a toll on your heart. While everyone feels this way some of the time, how you handle these emotions can affect your heart health. Those likely to internalize stress are in greater danger. Research has shown a benefit to laughter and social support, Dr. Reynolds says. And it's helpful to be able to go to someone and talk about your problems. 3. Ignoring the snoring. More than a minor annoyance, snoring can be a sign of something more serious, obstructive sleep apnea. This disorder, marked by breathing that is interrupted during sleep, can cause blood pressure to skyrocket. More than 18 million Americans adults have sleep apnea, which increases the risk of heart disease. People who are overweight or obese are at higher risk for sleep apnea, but slim people can have it too. If you snore and often wake up feeling tired, talk with your doctor. There are easy ways to screen for apnea. 4. Not flossing. While the exact reason is unknown, there is a strong link between gum disease and heart disease. If you don't floss, sticky, bacteria-laden plaque build up over time, which can lead to gum disease. One theory is that these bacteria trigger inflammation in the body. Inflammation promotes all aspects of atherosclerosis. 5. Withdrawing from the world. It's no secret that on some days, other human beings can seem annoying, irritating, and just plain difficult to get along with. However, it makes sense to strengthen your connections to the ones you actually like. People with stronger connections to family, friends, and society in general tend to live longer, healthier lives. Everyone needs alone time, but you should still reach out to others and keep in touch whenever you can. 6. You're either all or nothing, call it the weekend warrior syndrome. I see so many people in their 40s and 50s dive into exercising with good intentions, hurt themselves, and then stop exercising altogether. With exercise, it's wise to aim for slow and steady. It's more important to have a regular exercise commitment. 7. Drinking too much alcohol. Sure, studies suggest a small amount of alcohol may be good for your heart. Alas, too many over-imbibe. Excess alcohol is linked to a greater risk of high blood pressure, high levels of blood fats, and heart failure. In addition, the extra calories can lead to weight gain, a threat to heart health. If you drink, stick to no more than 2 drinks per day for men, and no more than 1 a day for women. 1 drink means a 12-ounce beer or 4-ounce glass of wine. 8. Overeating. Being overweight is a major risk factor for heart disease, and 72% of men and 64% of women in the U.S. are overweight or obese. Try to eat less, avoid oversized portions, and replace sugary drinks with water, cutting portion sizes for high-calorie carbohydrates, think refined pastas and breads, and watching out for foods labeled low-fat, which are often high in calories. 9. Eating red meat. It's best to think of red meat as an occasional treat rather than the foundation of a daily diet. Red meat is high in saturated fat, and there's also evidence that processed meat, such as bacon and hot dogs, increases your risk of cardiovascular disease and colorectal cancer. Ideally, less than 10% of your diet should come from animals and animal products. Can't part with the beef? Choose a lean cut of red meat and limit your intake. People have to know that if you want a steak a few times a month, it's okay. It's what you're eating 3 times a day that's the issue. Be in it for the long haul. Eat a balanced diet. 10. Being a health procrastinator. Check in with an MD so that you know your numbers for cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar. If these are elevated, you're at risk for silent killers like heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. One thought: the lifetime risk of developing hypertension, or high blood pressure, for adults in their mid-50s is approximately 90%, even with those who never had a problem before. The general point is that just because you didn't have it at 24 doesn't mean you don't have it at 54. 11. Smoking or living with a smoker. Sure, you've heard it a million times before, don't smoke. But it bears repeating. Smoking is a total disaster for your heart. Smoking promotes blood clots, which can block blood flow to the heart, and contributes to plaque buildup in the arteries. It's also a smart bomb aimed at everyone around you. In fact, about 46,000 non-smokers who live with a smoker die from heart disease each year because of secondhand smoke. 12. Avoiding fruits and vegetables. The most heart-healthy diet is a plant-based diet. That means loading up on fruits and vegetables, nuts, whole grains, low-fat dairy, and protein, and keeping junk food to a minimum. In fact, new federal dietary guidelines recommend that half of each meal should be composed of fruits and vegetables. Research has found that people who eat more than 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day had about 20% lower risk of heart disease and stroke than people who ate less than 3 servings per day. 13. Ignoring physical symptoms. If you used to walk up 3 flights of stairs without a problem, but suddenly you're short of breath after 1 flight or have chest pressure, it's time to call your doctor now. Never assume it's because you're out of shape. Doctors say time is muscle, meaning the quicker you get treatment for possible trouble, the less likely you are to have permanent damage to your heart muscle. It's better for it to be much ado about nothing than sitting on a heart attack for 6 hours, which is not uncommon. 14. Being a salty snacker. The more salt you consume, the higher your blood pressure rises. 1 in 3 American adults has high blood pressure, a major risk factor for stroke, kidney failure, and heart attack. Steer clear of packaged junk food, read the labels for sodium content, and stick to the outer portions of the supermarket, which is where the fruits, vegetables, and unsalted nuts are. Most of us should keep sodium intake below 2,300 milligrams a day. If you have high blood pressure or are over 50, cut back to 1,500 milligrams.